The Dragon Ball franchise boils down to one thing: strong characters that we want to see Goku punch in the face. Okay, fine, that's not all, but how satisfying is it to see Goku take on powerful opponents? That's why today's video is going to talk about the Gods of Destruction and what it would be like if Goku fought each one. Are there any that he could beat? Or does he need to go through a dozen more power-ups before he could stand a chance? That's tough to say, but they would at least be fun fights. Let's get started. Well, if we're making a list of all the Gods of Destruction Goku should fight, I might as well start with the one who Goku's already traded blows with. Beerus is the God of Destruction we're probably most familiar with. He's become a big part of the series, and his power is pretty insane, which is something you'll notice is a similar trait amongst all of the Gods of Destruction on this list. And their fight was one for the ages. When Beerus first met Goku, Beerus was searching for the Super Saiyan God, but was coming up empty. But through some typical anime mystical ancient mumbo-jumbo, Goku was able to power up briefly to Super Saiyan God, and the fighting began. And this wasn't just your average back alley fight where each side threw a few punches. This was a battle between such powerful forces that the two of them very nearly destroyed the entire universe. Whoops. And even after all of this, Beerus still bested Goku with relative ease, meaning that Goku definitely has a long way to go before he can ever properly challenge Beerus again. I mean, maybe next time, Goku can just bring a can of tuna and some catnip to give him an advantage. Beerus may be powerful, but he still has a lot of cat-like qualities. Well, since we talked about Beerus, we might as well talk about Champa, Beerus' twin brother who looks like he enjoys carbs a bit more than his sibling. He hails from Universe 6, and at some point let himself go a bit. Hey, it's true, his martial arts teacher and attendant Vados once implied that Champa gained weight over time. I think, obviously, this means that in Universe 6, the McDonald's there started serving breakfast all day much earlier than every other universe. It's the only real explanation. Personality-wise, Champa is even lazier than his lazy brother and oftentimes tries to get Vados to do things for him. His main goal has always been to humiliate Beerus, probably because Beerus got all of the good genes. A lot of his actions are motivated by his desire to embarrass Beerus. Like, even when the whole Tournament of Power, where the losers got erased, was happening, Champa was still mostly focused on humiliating his bro. While it's been shown that Beerus is stronger than Champa, he's still a god of destruction that few could rival. A fight with Goku would be interesting. I think Goku would have just as much difficulty beating Champa as he does with Beerus, and the only hope is that Champa gets tired out quicker than his brother. Champa's lack of stamina seems to be his only true weakness, but given how one hit could probably wipe you out forever, it doesn't seem like that much of a weakness, does it? I think, out of all of the Gods of Destruction, Giin would be one of the scariest for Goku to fight. He definitely looks like a competent warrior. Sure, how you look is not always the most important thing when it comes to being a God of Destruction, but the fact that you would most likely want to avoid Giin in a dark alley probably speaks volumes about his power levels and his abilities. If Beerus can beat Goku with relative ease, I wonder what Giin could do. Maybe Giin could beat Goku in his sleep. Let's hope we don't find out. But maybe that's a little unfair. Although Giin looks like one of the strongest Gods of Destruction, it's pretty clear that Beerus can overpower him. One time, when Beerus sent a massive destruction sphere towards the God of Destructions, Giin mentions how the attack would have killed them if Sidra's protective barrier didn't stop it. That probably means that in the hierarchy of power, Giin isn't the most powerful god, which is a shame. I was hoping the merman could beat the cat. Alright, let's be honest here. Belmod would actually be hands down the scariest God of Destruction to fight, mainly because he looks like a clown. Like, come on, man, a clown? Really? You couldn't look any less nightmare-inducing? I just got over my irrational fear of clowns that I've had since childhood, but thanks to powerful entities like you and Pennywise, I got a whole new set of issues. I wonder how Goku feels about clowns. Could he look past the inherent creepiness to pummel Belmod? Well, that's much easier said than done. Belmod, surprisingly, might be the strongest of the Gods of Destruction. Why? Well, because in the anime itself, Whis mentions how Belmod is more powerful than Beerus, and his unique skill set over the many years allows him to hurt and trap all of the other Gods of Destruction when he wants. But even though he's scary looking and will probably give you nightmares for the next 10 years, he's actually a relatively peaceful god who hates evil and wants to stop it. I mean, it's good that he's like that, because really, Universe 11 is basically the strongest universe as it includes fighters like Jiren. So, yeah, just because Goku would probably want to punch a clown in the face doesn't mean he'd fare very well against Belmod. Ugh, Quitela. Could somebody please call the exterminator on this rodent? He looks like Mickey Mouse's scummy cousin who shows up and asks for money every Christmas. Is that too mean? Well, I would feel bad, but Quitela kinda deserves it. He's a lazy, vain, and super manipulative god of destruction who isn't afraid to play dirty to secure a victory. He hates Beerus and often comes up with schemes or ideas to get him out of the way, but clearly none of them work. Quitela also doesn't seem to value any life but his own. When Universe 9 was erased, he couldn't care less and actually seemed like he thought it was funny. But then of course, when he himself was about to be erased, he threw a temper tantrum. Ugh, Quitela. I'd like to see Goku go up against him, but I'm actually not sure of Goku's chances here. Even though we'd probably all be rooting for Goku to win here, this god of destruction might just be too powerful. It's been said that in hand-to-hand combat, Beerus might reign supreme, but Quitela did once beat Beerus in an arm wrestling contest. That's gotta count for something, right? Let's talk about this cute little fuzzball known as Iwne. He hails from Universe 1, and if we ever get a live-action version of Iwne, I hope a hairy Danny DeVito plays him. They have a similar build. Anyway, Iwne could be called the most successful god of destruction. Sure, he doesn't seem as powerful of a fighter as Beerus or some of the others, but he's also really good at his job. His universe, Universe 1, actually has the highest mortal level out of any universe. This came in handy, as when the Tournament of Power was announced at the Xeno Expo, his universe was spared because of its high mortal ranking. Way to go, Iwne! Power-wise, we got to see Iwne in action in the three-way fight between himself, Arak, and Liquiir, where the hairy Furby easily held his own and proved his strength by fighting evenly with his other gods. Just because he looks cute and cuddly doesn't mean he isn't ready to throw down at a moment's notice, and just a brief glimpse of his fighting ability shows a fierce warrior and a tremendously skilled fighter. Alright, no fair. Mule is the god of destruction of Universe 3, and while that's cool on its own, he also gets a nifty robot to control. The robot is big and imposing and goes by the name Moscow. Mule may not be the strongest fighter, but he's probably the smartest out of any god of destruction. He doesn't even talk that much. Like, when he's operating Moscow, he basically just communicates in 8-bit tones. And it's hard to tell just how powerful Mule is outside of Moscow. Manga readers know that the Moscow robot has serious skills, as one time he was able to sneak around Beerus and grab him for a brief moment until Beerus broke free. Can you imagine Goku fighting this robot? I think it would make for a tough fight, not only because I'm sure he's insanely strong, but also because Mule would be smarter than Goku in every way and would force Goku to think outside the box. Man, what would Goku do if he was forced to fight Heles? It would be a unique challenge for sure. Heles is the god of destruction of Universe 2 and looks like a Dragon Ball version of Cleopatra. She is in no way evil, as it's shown that she actually cares about life in a way that other gods of destruction do not. And the way she hypes up the fighters in her own universe makes you think she really believes in them. But she's not without her faults. She's incredibly vain and is one of those people who dislikes anything she thinks is ugly, as well as enjoys having servants wait on her all the time. She also has a special infatuation with Goku, as she admires the fighter in a way that the other gods do not, but I'm not sure what that would mean if the two of them were forced to fight each other. Just because she likes Goku, I think if the situation called for it, she wouldn't hesitate to beat the Saiyan up. So just be weary if she suddenly starts reaching for her bow and arrow, and hope you have fast reflexes. Arak kind of looks like a fish who's been left out of water for too long. He's the god of destruction for Universe 5, and has a fascinating personality overall. Even though he's a god of destruction, he tries to expand his universe's potential with the absolute minimal amount of destruction possible. Plus, unlike a lot of the other gods who destroy stuff on a whim, Arak is very disciplined and trains hard to do his job successfully. He's the type of enemy Goku would love to fight. What does the fox say? Well, ask Liquiir, he might be able to tell you. He looks like some type of fox-man hybrid. And he may have a jovial and fun personality, but don't cross him. Liquiir makes it his mission to destroy anyone that lowers the mortal level of his universe. He doesn't seem as strong as some of the other gods of destruction, so maybe if Goku was looking for a type of warm-up fight, maybe he should start with Liquiir. Of course, that doesn't mean he would be an easy opponent and would give up without a fight. And from what we've seen of him, I think it would be tough for Goku to win. As strong as Rumsshi looks, who thanks to his elephant-like size and build looks like he could seriously pack a punch, it'd be hard to coax him into a fight. He's more on the lazy side of things and doesn't like destroying planets mainly because it's too much of a pain. But he already doesn't particularly like Goku, so getting the two to spar each other might not be the most difficult thing in the world. His power levels are solid, and thanks to his devastating battle roar, I would tell Goku to invest in a quality pair of noise-canceling headphones. While Goku is often a man of action, the God of Destruction of Universe 9 tends to have trouble making a decision. Sidra often overthinks things and acts as a very passive god since he can't decide what to destroy. He's a pacifist mainly, which is why he isn't that fond of Goku overall, since Goku's whole thing is fighting non-stop. Power-wise, maybe Goku has a chance against Sidra, as Sidra's energy of destruction wasn't even powerful enough to take out Golden Frieza. Okay, yeah, if Goku needs to start with an easy opponent, he should choose Sidra. Even though all of these would be tough fights, it seems like Goku is the best choice to possibly stand a chance, right? I mean, you can't exactly put Krillin up against these folks, right? Yeah, that wouldn't be very fair.